Hey everybody, it's Chris from Charity Board Gamer. We are back with our RPGs and such, and of course, we're playing some more of the Dobbers Seeds of Decay on Kickstarter. If you have not backed it yet, you need to go on there, take a look at this. And if you want to watch some of the older videos, there's of course the videos that we have here. We have some replays on our YouTube channel and here on Twitch. You can also watch Mike from Unmade Gaming's videos, where we've actually gone on an adventure before with Daryl, and that's what Mike was telling me the other day was that people, since the campaign started, I guess people are going back to those videos, watching with you, me, Mackenzie, and Keith, and just enjoying that, which is so good. So of course, Keith.
Well, that's cool. I hadn't heard that. I need to talk to Mike.
Keith is of course my favorite goblin. Like I could not, believe me, when I was thinking about goblin voices, I was thinking of his voice and I wanted to, but I just couldn't do that because I don't want to imitate like somebody that just, he was so good. So good. But yeah, folks, we're gonna quickly go around. Of course, we don't have Hoxie and Rig with us tonight. We miss them. But we're gonna of course continue our adventure. I'm gonna go around real quick though, and then I'm gonna let Daryl repeat where we were last time. And Mistress DDR, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on in. Just so everybody knows, too, every single one of our Tuesday night live streams, we're supporting a particular charity. The charity that we're supporting is Mercy House Global. If you are interested in actually playing a part and actually changing the story up, you can make that donation. There will be, like, of course, a little tip thing where you can make the donation. And then when you do that, it will cause one of three things: an automatic encounter, a nat 1 or 20, or inspiration for a player of your choice. So I have, like I said, I'm Chris from Charity Board Gamer. We're going to go on to the person who truly does play games and spreads joy and has been a joy in my life since I've gotten the chance to know him back in 2019. It's so crazy. It's going to be up 3 years. It's going to be 3 years soon that we've really started this friendship. I think it has been really 3 years, which is just phenomenal.
Yep.
But that is the amazing Justin. So Justin, I'll let you tell everybody where you're from and all that good stuff.
Well, like you said, I'm Justin of Play Games Spread Joy. That is my channel. Yeah, in general, I just do what I can to have fun playing games, spreading the love of my favorite hobby, spreading some joy, hopefully bringing smiles to everyone else's table as I'm enjoying it as well. In this campaign, though, I play Rodo. I am a Terran Dauber, Shepherd class, so both are a custom race and class that Daryl has created for this campaign. And then so along the way, the Shepherd class, I slowly kind of start to change into something different than from what I started. But everyone's kind of finding out along the way as they see those changes in me. So I don't want to give away too much.
Nice.
You're gonna become an armadillo. That's what I'm calling.
You're calling it armadillo?
Yes,
An
they're so
armadillo?
cute.
All right. Let's then go on to the amazing encourager of my chaos, which is, of course, Vega, played by Chelsea.
So I'm Chelsea. You can find me at Chucka's Corner or hanging out here with Chris and Justin, just playing games and hanging out with friends and just enjoying this whole new board game world and RPG world, because this is also new to me. So just I'm along for the ride. And
Glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. I play Vega the Raccoon, and that's my dog. And I play Vega the Raccoon, and she's a rogue that is not great at being a rogue. She's not sneaky, even though she tries and fails constantly. So
Well, that's
She's
the best way to play, not being great at what you want to be great at.
yeah.
All right. And now let's go to the creator of the Dobbers universe, the amazing Daryl T. Jones. We are very thankful to be able to have him as a friend and also be able to enjoy these adventures that he's created and that he is sharing with us. So, Daryl, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. And I agree. I mean, our friendship started we met somehow online, but really it started at Origins a few years ago. So I'm glad to have met you and your friends through you. Actually, I met Justin there too, but I hadn't met Chelsea yet. Anyway, but yeah, I
I'm
do
your
appreciate
friend.
it. And now you're my friend. I appreciate you guys playing this game with me and helping to share the world and invest some of your precious time into my imagination. But like Chris said, I'm Daryl T. Jones. I'm Splattered Ink on the internet. You can find me on social media, my website, everything. It's all just Splattered Ink. Seeds of Decay is the Kickstarter. It is live right now. We are about to unlock another stretch goal at 70,000, with others planned at 80 and 90 and 100. And there's a secret stretch goal at 120, which is going to be hopefully where we end up toward the end here. We're about halfway through, and it's going great. So go check that out. If you like it, throw $1 at it. If you really like it, you know how Kickstarters work. So are we ready to jump into the game?
Tell me how Kickstarters work, Daryl.
I don't know either.
All right. Well, Kickstarter is a platform designed for creative people to be able to present their ideas to the public so that those ideas can be funded by the public so that they can be made.
You lost me. I'm sorry.
Instead
I don't know what's going on here.
Yes. So instead of having to have an investor or a loan or something like that in order to produce a board game or some other cool item, you can share it with the public, and if they want it, they put money towards it. So if you are interested in the game, we've got several different pledge levels. There's the hardcover book for $50, which is a great deal because most role-playing game books right now are running at $60. There's the box set, which comes with maps and player cards and custom character sheets and the book and something else. And I don't have the list in front of me. There's the deluxe box set, which comes with all that plus more. I've made some really cool player aid cards. So everybody knows what a DM screen is, or at least in the RPG world, a DM screen has all of the details that you need that you don't want to have to look up constantly in your book, right? Well, I made basically DM screens for the players. So they're little cards that are going to give you like all the breakdown of how you calculate your attacks and your spell casting levels and different details about each class. So there's like different ones for all 12 classes and stuff like that. So I want to make it easy to play, plus create something that's really cool to play, which is Seeds of Decay. And so you can back at that level. And there's also cool add-ons like custom wooden dice and little hex chests from Elderwood. And anyway, that's enough of that.
Yep. And if you're interested, in the chat, we've actually put along with where you can donate to affect the story and help the charity. We've also got the link to the Kickstarter along with it. So if you want to click on that and just go ahead and back it, yeah, go ahead and back it. I mean, even if you're not able to back it now, back at $1. And
Or if you can't back it, go
yeah.
share it with your friends.
Oh yeah, share it too. But if you want to back it later, and I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say funds aren't there today. Well, you have up until, of course, when the Kickstarter ends before it charges. So you can always put $1. And let's say that later, let's say the pledge manager comes up, you also have a chance to get involved in the pledge manager since you at least put in towards it. So that's also a blessing that I recommend as well for those who are, a little weary and on the fence.
Because every dollar impacts Kickstarter's algorithm for how it sorts projects. So the number of backers has a big part of that, not just the number of dollars. So it's a mysterious puzzle to solve to try to keep your Kickstarter project in the limelight. But that is the puzzle I'm playing. So, or putting together. I don't know. I mixed some metaphors there. But so as far as the game goes, this is Seeds of Decay. A crack is formed in the darkness, the always green forest, leaking rot and decay. Trees are withering and crops fail to mature. Strange twisted creatures have been seen in the shadows. The rot weaver has returned. Seeds of Decay is already been described, so I'm not going to read the whole intro. But when we last left our party, they got up to some serious shenanigans. They were on their way back to Dobberton from crossing the great fields that are south of the Always Green Forest. They visited the South Watch. They took a meal at the Drunken Deeret, made a few Woodkin friends, and stole a wagon from the general store owner which happened to be pulled by a goat that Glug unceremoniously named Thunder. They drove the goat as fast as possible north along the King's Road and somehow made it to Dobberton in a matter of just 2 days. Upon entering the city, they proceeded straight to the palace complex. They spoke with Samlet, the guard posted at the main palace gate. While they tried every excuse they could come up with, they were denied entrance. Samlet, however, did agree to pass along a message to the king. They know the queen is sick, and the rot that has... I am going to try that again. They know the queen is sick, and they know that Kaelin, the king's sister, may have caused it. From there, the party was split. Glug went on to find his old tutor Darren, and Roto and Rig went shopping, where they ran into William, a Heron Woodkin who knew their dad, Thaddeus. He told them to see if they could find Gwyn, one of their old friends. After their trip apart, they had agreed that they would meet back at the Lonely Bear at dusk for dinner. We pick things up with Glug, our cleric goblin, on his way to find his old tutor, Darren. So, you're making your way along one of the small roads that wrap around the palace complex. Mm-hmm. You know that his home was somewhere on the east side of town. He wasn't living in the palace complex, but he had his place outside of it. You find your way to a small complex of little houses that were built into a row of maple trees. They kind of are like condominiums in a way. It takes you a little while, but with a little bit of luck and a few wrong turns, but eventually finding the right turn, you come to a little house with a door that's been painted a nice soft blue. You recognize it, and memory floods into your mind of many trips walking across the little walkway over a small bridge that passes into the front yard and going through that door where you would sit at his table and learn your math and history and writing and all of those things. What do you do?
Glug is hesitant because I haven't been home in some time, but I have the dagger with me, and I have a feeling that as I show it, that it's going to, maybe my tutor will have something. So I approach the door,
mm-hmm.
and I knock.
Okay. The knock echoes into the house. It's very quiet inside. You don't hear anything rustling as you knock, but after just a few seconds, you hear soft footsteps approaching the door.
Hello? Hello?
The door opens, and you see a woman. She's in her upper years. She's got gray hair that's been curled and pulled into kind of some loose ponytails on the sides. She's got a nice smile, but you can tell that she's not brimming over with joy. Hello there. Is there something I can do for you? You recognize this is Alda, his wife.
Miss Alda, Glug would like to see Darren. Is Darren
Oh,
here?
Glug! Oh my, I'm so sorry. I didn't expect you at this time of day. And it's been so long. Well, come in.
Okay.
You should come in. Let's have some tea, or I've actually got some coffee. It's a little harder to get up here, but come on in.
Glug would like coffee. Yes, Glug.
All right.
Glug likes it. Yes.
Yes. All right. She leads you in, and there's a little small like foyer, and then to one side you can see a hallway that goes to rooms, and the other side there's the kind of the living space where it's the kitchen and dining room combination. And she takes you to the table and pulls out a chair for you, then goes into the kitchen and starts warming up some water.
Um,
So, what brings you here? I haven't seen you in so long.
Glug, Glug, Glug needs help getting into the castle, and Glug thought maybe Master Darren could help Glug with something and help me. Glug
She
wants.
sets down a cup kind of suddenly when you say that. Oh dear, I guess you wouldn't know. Darren's dead. It's been a while now. I mean, not exactly fresh wounds, but he was still working for the king, doing tutoring and whatnot for those who needed a little extra school, and things seemed to be okay. But 18 months ago or so, he decided he had to go and visit one of his friends in Highborough, and he was killed by wolves on the way.
By wolves?
Yeah, I know it's not like wolves to be aggressive inside the forest, but that's what I'm told.
Glug,
And Glug's very very saddened right now.
She lets you be and goes back to preparing coffee, and you hear her pull out a loaf of bread, and she's starting to cut some chunks off of it.
Glug 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 is put into a state of just this feeling of depression and despair. Um, Darren was probably the closest thing, if not the king, to as a father. Then Darren was closest to. So Glug is hurting.
She comes over to the table and says the water's getting warm, but I have some bread. Do you want butter or honey? I have both.
Glug, Glug's not hungry.
I know you were close to him. If I'd known how to get a hold of you, I would have, sent a letter or something.
Glug hasn't been in Dobberton in the palace for a while. It's okay.
Yeah,
Did
it's been strange.
could you maybe help Glug? Glug has something, and I need to know if you know anything about what this could be, and if Master Darren knows more of how I can get into the castle. I need to know.
And so he Glug pulls out the dagger, wrapped in a cloth, and just slowly opens the cloth over it.
She watches you unroll it. Her face clearly in a bit of awe. The dagger is gorgeous, and while you've seen it and you've had a chance to look at it, your mind is pretty much always preoccupied. But this dagger that has got this really finely grained wood throughout the blade, and it looks like somebody's traced each grain with a line of silver. The handle, the hilt that twists with silver filigree, and then the handle itself has even gold inlaid on it. And then, of course, the gem that sits in the middle, the red stone that doesn't sparkle as much as it seems to almost wash, like the light inside it waves from side to side as if it's water.
Glug
That's
would
that's
like to know if
I've never seen it. Is that a heritage stone? I've only heard of them. She points at the stone.
Glug doesn't know. Glug just knows that this thing has to be destroyed. Glug. It's all Glug knows. And I know I need to bring it back to the palace. And I know that the queen is sick, but everybody on the outside is saying that she's not. But Glug knows.
Well, I mean, a few weeks ago, there was a rumor that she'd fallen ill, but I mean, nothing came of it. I mean, as far as rumors go, everyone assumes she's well by now.
Have you seen the queen?
Well, I think tomorrow they're going to have they're gonna reveal the prime seed for next season. So there'll be the banquet and stuff. She should be there. So every year they take a seed from the prime tree and kind of ceremoniously prepare it to be a new seed that's planted out in the forest in the spring. And while these seeds don't particularly contain any magical qualities, but because they come from the prime tree, they're considered royal seeds. And every now and then one of them is got magical qualities and things like that. Nobody knows where they plant them before the planting ceremony, and that gets revealed in the spring, but that's a different story. So this is a kind of a ceremony that they do when they reveal the seed for the year. There'll be a banquet. It's not open to everybody, but during the banquet, they come out of the palace and they hold up the seed and everyone cheers and blah, blah, blah.
Glug would like to know, does Master Darren have any books that could tell me more about this thing and how to destroy it? Do you think?
Well, sure, you could look into his library. I mean, I haven't really done much with it since then. Our son, he's off, working. He's got a job in the East Watch, working one of the mills, but so he hasn't had any use for him either. So yeah, you could look, but I mean, if that's a heritage stone, it shouldn't be out. I mean, the heritage stones they're sacred. They're not supposed to leave the castle. No one even gets to see them except for those who they belong to. They're part of the royal identity. That's how you prove you're one of the royal bloodline.
Glug's worried that
yeah, that's.
Glug's worried that Master Darren was killed by the wolves, but the wolves, I don't think were good wolves.
What? No. They said it was acting weird. Saris, he comes, once a week. He's the one who knew the story best, but he comes once a week with some supplies and stipend from the king. It's I don't know, kind of weird. He says it's my insurance policy, I suppose, for him dying while in service of the king, which he was not in service of the king if he was going to visit a friend. So I don't really know what that's all about, but I take it as a blessing from the Starfather.
Where is this Saris? I want to talk to him. Glug would like to talk to him.
Well, I mean, Saris keeps his own schedule. He's, the vizier to the king. But he comes about once a week. I mean, usually on a Monday or Tuesday, and today's Thursday.
Ah, nuts. Okay.
And this is not a name that you recognize either. So whoever it is, he's come to this position since you left.
Yeah, and Glug's curious as to why there would be this retainer for him, for Master Darren serving the king. Why he would be getting paid for his service when he wasn't under the service of the king at that time. So that's kind of where Glug's going with this, and he wants to find this Saurus character because I want to make sure it's on the up and up, and that there's not something more to it. And if there is more to it, and it's Glug's concerned that it wasn't maybe just the wolves, because he's already killed a couple Dobbers who have been disloyal.
Glug would like to look at the library if you can show me the way.
Okay. All right. So she leads you out of the room, and you go onto that side of the little house where there's a couple other rooms, and opens one of the doors, and there's just a small room with a desk, one window, and two shelving units, full of books. Most are dusty and haven't been touched in a while. You can tell someone's used the desk recently enough, or maybe at least she dusts it if it gets dirty. And she's, I'll finish our coffee. I'll give you a few minutes. And she leaves.
I'm going to investigate and just
Sure.
kind of look.
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, tell me
So,
what you're looking for.
Glug's going to kind of look around at the different books, and I'm gonna kind of look around and see if there's something out of the ordinary. I mean, there's that feeling like if Darren was in service of the king, maybe there's something that showed what he was really sent for. Like Glug's concerned, and he's concerned that Darren was killed for a different reason, just because wolves acting out of the ordinary and being paid.
Sure.
Their family continuing to be paid. So Glug's looking
Yeah.
for any documentation that would say that he was under the service of the king, or that he was sent on a mission. And then he's also kind of looking around for books that might have something about the royal lineage and these heritage stones, just so that way
Okay.
I can at least look into it to find a way to somehow destroy this thing, because he knows that it's just going to serve a purpose for evil, and rather than it being serving a purpose for evil, he wants to be rid of it.
Yep. Okay. Give me an investigation roll. And thank you for the detailed description of what you're looking for.
Okay.
Great. The easiest book to find is there is a history of the royal family.
Mm-hmm.
And you thumb through it, you find another one that's kind of like where we all come from. You thumb through it, and you end up finding in the royal family one, there is a pretty detailed description of heritage stones. The idea is that each time a new Dobber is born that is part of the royal line, a drop of their blood is magically infused into this gem, and because it's their blood and it's locked in the vault underneath the castle, which no one can get into. And of course the book kind of elaborates how difficult it is to get into, because this is a publicly available book. That it is the absolute infallible proof that you are one of the royal line. And they don't have any other properties according to this book. So the idea that a heritage stone would be in this dagger is it almost, some of the verbiage in the book would make it sound like this is a strange thing to have happened, because they're just these little sacred stones that are used for decorations that are only pulled out when there's a question about lineage and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem like being weaponized even makes sense.
Okay. So there's nothing, like, I don't see anything that would tell me any reason why somebody would use it for other purposes other than just basically the stones are mainly like the historical lineage type style stones that basically are a way of charting the lineage. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing in there about that. Give me an insight roll,
Okay.
though.
All right. Let me do an insight.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and you can tell that this is basically written for common people and trying to tell them, how exciting it is that their kingdom has such a perfect system for, establishing the true order of things. There is an offhand comment about how there is a little bit of the person's essence in it. It sounds like it's more like flavor text, that they're trying to find a better way to say that it's just a drop of their blood. And that strikes you as a bit odd, though. Like, why is that even necessary?
Yeah.
You continue to look, and you're not really finding any documentation about his job. I mean, you find some notebooks you start going through drawers in the desk, and you find notebooks of students and what they're studying. And, some of it is just even painful to look at because it's all just, grades and stuff like that. You just happen to go one notebook deeper, and you find a notebook that is talking about different comparisons of magic to common everyday life. What might be one way, instead of to use prestidigitation to clean your clothes, could you infuse that into something to make it not look like magic? So those kind of things, it's like this strange sort of document of how to make magic not look magical. And as you look a little bit further into that, there's mention of some famous wizards that were known in the kingdom when Quillian was the king, before killing his son. And how, they're going to try to, and some of the notes are like, okay, so we need to produce a document that says that this, magical statue that's on the north side of the kingdom is actually not magical, and here's the reasons why. And it's sort of this, you start to get the feeling like he was helping to brainstorm with somebody how to cover up magic in the kingdom.
I wonder if he was working with the king. I mean, it would make sense if the king's paying him still. Maybe it's a way to protect the magic and let magic can still continue to be used, but in secret. From reading,
He walks
that,
in as you're kind of thinking about it. I've got some coffee ready. Do you want it in here? And she's got a mug.
Glug would love that. Did Master Dare know magic?
No. You can roll insight again if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll insight on this one. Let's see here.
She's not very convincing, but you're not sold that she's lying.
Glug found this. I need to know the truth because I want to find out what's going on, and Glug wants to help, but I can't do it without knowing. Glug.
All right. She comes over and looks at it, and as you can see that her face, she's just taking it in, not having any, she's not having any over expression about, oh, this is a very odd booklet. This doesn't look like School notes. She
No.
flips a couple pages. That's not even Darren's handwriting.
Whose handwriting is it?
I don't know. I mean, most of it's his, but not this. And what she's pointing at is kind of a list of magical known spells, basically, kind of some common spells that you kind of first, second level spells, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I want to press her a little bit more, but I want to be kind, because this is basically being in this house was almost like being in a second home.
Yeah.
So,
Glug really
I'm-
needs to know.
I really
I'm gonna
don't.
run persuasion. I'm gonna do a persuasion check.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to see if I can somehow persuade her to tell me more about Master Darren, and if he did deal with magic, and what he was doing.
Glug,
Okay.
Glug knows that something's going on with Master Darren and magic. But you're not telling me. Glug would like to know
Oh,
why.
Gluggy,
Glug.
come on. I don't know
Glug knows magic
what
too.
he was up to, but I agree with you. There was something towards the end that felt odd. He would take meetings with the king at weird hours and say that he was taking a new student, but then no new students ever came to the house. And then this meeting going to meet Marith, at Highborough. Why would he need to meet Marith? And he said he met him at the palace, and they got to know each other. But I mean, I think Marith had already left the king's service by then, because Marith was one of Quillian's council, not Killen.
What do you know about Lady Kaelin?
Kaelin, what do you mean? I don't know a Kaelin.
The king's sister.
Oh. Well, she died years ago, didn't she?
No.
Really? Well, what does she have to do with this then?
I think Lady Kaelin is part of the reason why Master Darren is dead. Glug doesn't know for sure, but Glug has feeling.
Glug, I don't want anything to do with this.
I know.
I need to ask you to leave. I'm just getting over his passing, and to be honest, it's nice to have the stipend from the king. I don't want anything to get messed up. We can't go back. We can't bring him back. So just leave this alone, please.
I can't. Glug needs to right the wrongs. Glug's sorry, I believe.
And Glug,
He walks you to the door.
yeah. And Glug is he's determined, but he's very saddened. The home that was his second home, he's being asked to leave it. And the one mentor he had is dead. And Glug's just broken. But-
Yep.
But he's going to try to ask around about this Sosa person and about Marith, and to find Sosa and interrogate, because Glug's going to get down to the bottom of this one way or the other. And I'm
Okay.
just going to kind of start going around asking. and I'm gonna go possibly to like some of the taverns and bars around the area.
Okay. Well, it is starting to get evening time. And while there are other places in the area for sure,
Mm-hmm.
probably makes the most sense to start with the Lonely Bear, since that's where you're expected to be about now.
Yep. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So you guys, you first two get into the Lonely Bear, and it's only a few minutes before Glug shows up, so I'm just going to describe the scene to both of you at the same time. And I realize I don't have, I'm going to see if I can find some appropriate music. And I don't see. I don't know. Sorry for that break of the fourth wall there for a minute.
That's all good.
Okay. Alrighty. So, mood shift here. You guys are in the Lonely Bear. The Lonely Bear is a large tavern and eatery. It's got a few rooms, but those are only for select customers. If you really want a room, there's another establishment next door, but the Lonely Bear is very busy. There's the common room alone is bigger than the Acorn Inn that you guys remember. Every table has daubers and woodkin and all types at them. The bar is constantly busy. There are even some people sitting on benches along the walls because tonight, and tonight only, Theobald, the great bard, is performing. As you walk, say, you know, Roto and Vega are already at a table. Let's say that. You've got a chair held for any of your friends that happen to be here tonight, like Glug. But as you walk in, Glug, you see all these people, and you first notice that there is a deeret in the corner on a stage. Her antler, or his antlers, are decorated with like golden ribbons, and every eye is locked on this deer ferret. You know, this ferret that's got these antlers, this majestic antlers. His cloak is pulled around his neck with lots of different colored patches, golden thread stitched throughout, waving his arms dramatically as he begins to tell the tale. For there were, riding out in the king's personal carriage, pulled by his own white foxes. White as lightning their fur was. King Quillian's destiny would forever be tied to the quest these wizards embarked upon. Failure would mean the forest, and all who lived in it would fall into the tainted hands. Yes, you all know him, the father of Decay, the Rotweaver, an in-betweener and the Shadowling. He is called by many names, yes, but you all know him. He is Rortan the Lightless. Success, and the king would forever be known as the one who saved the forest. For there were, Sataris could call the lightning and wind. Marith was the master of beasts, big and small. Othkara commanded life, and Herbert's contraptions could confound the mighty. For there were seals on his tomb, secrets known only to the wizards of Dobberton. The crowd applauds, and he begins playing a song that basically is repeating various lines from this sort of poem that he was reading. The crowd starts clapping and joining in. It's really loud. After your attention is allowed to pull back a little bit, you almost feel like you were forced to watch, like there was a little something else in the air. Your eyes land on Roto and Vega at a table kind of in the middle of the room. I presume you go up to them. I hand it back over to you guys.
Did you all find anything or find out anything?
Find out anything? No, we went and picked up a few supplies. Had to
Did they
chase
hang out?
Rig around the streets a bit. She
Where is
couldn't
she?
stop trying to hawk her work. Well, she was just right here.
Have you
You
have
done
you all
lost
taken
her.
have you all taken good care of Thunder?
Yes, yes. We have. Hanging out somewhere.
He's like good friend to Glug. But we need to find someone. Glug
Who do we need to find?
Glug's friend is dead, and I think someone knows. I think he was killed. I don't think
You all want something? And a Dobber, kind of a young female Dobber, just walks right up, right into the middle of your conversation. She's got a platter with some breads and cheeses on it, and a pitcher of something brown colored. Was this for you? Did you guys order the bread and cheese and a pitcher of honeyed ale?
Glug didn't order that. Did you all?
Rig may have ordered it. Put it down. Put it down.
We'll
we'll
eat
take
it for her.
Yeah, we'll
It's
take
okay.
Oh, good. And it was getting heavy. I'd been to like 4 other tables. Yeah. So you weren't here before, did you? Is this good? You need a glass, little green fella?
Glug's not hungry. But Glug would like to know.
And I take out a coin, just to not so much bribe, but as to persuade.
Glug wants to know. Do you know anything about a Sausa? Who serves the
Saurus?
king? Yeah,
Saurus?
Saurus.
That pompous idiot? Yeah, sure. What do you want to know?
Where can Glug find him?
Oh, in the palace, probably. I mean, he's usually, in there, like, feeling all self-important and stuff.
Is he ever?
I heard he's actually from the borough. Can you believe that? Somebody from the boroughs working for the king now is his vizier. We all know he just means guy that talks to him. Vizier, like some fancy word makes him more important.
Does he ever come out of the palace?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't watch him or nothing. I don't know his schedule.
Do you know someone that does?
And I put another coin in her hand, and I do a little persuasion roll.
Okay. She said, I don't know what you're talking about at all. But if you'd like to place another order over there, and she kind of looks at a table in the corner, I might be able to find what you're looking for.
Glug would like that. Roto, Vega, I'm gonna go talk about somebody that we might have to talk to later.
Oh, while you're figuring that out, ask if there's any new rules on how we can get into the palace to seek company to talk to them. Because apparently they didn't want to let you in today.
Glug might also have a way in with this person if I get to talk to him. One way or the other, I'll talk
right.
To him. So, I go over to the corner.
All right, so at the corner, there's a table there, and there is an otter sitting at the table. He's got a cloak with a hood, and he's just sipping, looks like some sort of a hot drink.
Glug heard that you might know where I can find someone.
And I slip some coins across the table.
The name is Saurus.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just enjoying, Theobald. I'm not here for nothing like that.
Glug's enjoying Theobald too.
He looks at the waitress that had talked to you, and that you see them exchange a whatever.
Okay. Glug then goes ahead and he says,
Glug's enjoying the time here with the deer as well. Here, let me buy you a drink.
and then I slip some more coins over to him,
Okay.
and
And then, what would you like to drink?
Well, I like a lot of different types of drinks, particularly ones that aren't rotten.
How about coffee?
No, I think I'll take something a little more kick.
Some tea, perhaps.
Sure.
okay. So I wave to the waitress.
All right. She comes over.
Glug would like to get his
What can
friend.
Rosie do for you?
Glug would like to get his friend some tea.
Your usual. And the otter nods.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll be back.
Now,
You guys enjoy your chat. I'll make sure you aren't disturbed.
thank you. So Glug
Well,
is
All
trying
right.
to find. Glug is trying to find out about Saurus, because Saurus might know about.
who are you? I don't understand. What interest is Saurus or any of the goings on at the palace to you?
He may know how my mentor died.
People die all the time.
Yes, but Glug doesn't believe it was natural. Glug believes that it was something more, and it's related to the rot.
Okay. The rock. That's the hint I was trying to drop a minute ago. You seem to miss it. Look, I can't risk myself getting tied up with someone who can't even catch a hint like that. Look, if you are interested in finding out more about the rot, maybe we can talk someplace else. But so far, you're not giving me the right vibe.
Glug can give you a good vibe with more tea and maybe more coin. Or Glug could take you outside, and Glug could ask you a different way.
Is that a threat?
Glug doesn't make threats.
All right.
Glug is
Look,
merely saying that I am trying to find out who is causing this rot to spread, and I know who, and her name is Kaylin, and I will start yelling out loud if I need to, and make us known, or you can help me, and I can help save the queen.
All right. Well, it seems that you and I may have slightly different agendas.
Is your agenda to see the queen die? Is your agenda to let the rot spread? Because if so, I'll end you now. If your goal is to make sure that the forest is safe, and that your otters and your friends and your family are safe, then you will help Glug. Glug does not ask much.
No,
But
look,
I need to know.
The water around this place is gone bad
Glug
all
knows.
throughout the kingdom. And being a friend of the water, I kind of want to know why. It seems like the king and the queen and everybody who wants to throw their weight around wearing fancy clothes and big hats, whatever, they're in on it. They're in on it. There ain't no saving no queen. She's probably the one who started the whole thing.
No, the queen is sick. Glug knows. The queen is sick. and I need to get to the Vizier to see why it's being covered up, and also to see if he knows anything about my friend who died. And Glug is trying to put a stop to this, and I show him very discreetly. I unwrap the dagger right in front of the otter. And this has something to do with it, and I need to find a way into
Put
the
that
palace.
thing away, man.
Oh,
What the? He's like looking around all nervous now.
you do know what's going on. Glug knew it.
Where did you get that? How did you?
I killed Majera. I don't know if you know who that is, but it's a Dobber. I thought it was a rat king, but it's a Dobber, and he was evil, and Glug killed him.
That looked like a heritage stone, right? There's no heritage stones comes out of the palace.
Well, it's right here. Glug has one. It's in his dagger.
You know
It's
the
evil.
kind of turmoil you could cause to the system just by showing somebody that? If you could prove you had somebody's heritage stone, that would completely derail whoever's supposed to be king.
Glug knows that Lady Kaelin is alive and is working with the rats and is poisoning the water and is killing the plants and is hurting people. Glug wants to stop it. And I need to get in the palace, but I first need to know more about this Saurus. Can you help me?
Well, he doesn't get around much. He likes to stay close to the king. He likes to have his ear. It seems that ever since this guy came into town, the king's been at his side practically. No one else pays any attention to this, but some people
How can
Like
I get
myself.
close to him?
seems to think that he's more the king now than the king is.
Glug might see to stop that if he's trying to overthrow the king.
Now like I said, I don't keep Saurus's schedule or anything like that, but I know where his office is in the palace.
Do you know a way to help me into the palace? Maybe a secret passage or some way that I can go undetected.
I he coughs a little bit, looks at the bottom of his cup. I wish I could help you, but I don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna jump over to the other
Okay.
table since you've had. So just as Glug leaves, so kind of while that conversation's happening, not afterward, yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to make a quick decision and I got lost. A Dobber like hops into the seat where Glug was sitting, like right afterward, and says, "Hey, how's it going?"
Oh, hello.
Hi, I'm Nahum.
Well, hello, Niall. I guess good to meet you.
What you doing?
So I heard you guys were looking for, some special things, some items and whatnot.
I guess we're doing a bit of shopping today. Didn't quite find everything. But who have you been talking to? That you've been following us or what?
Well, not exactly. But my friend, Katrin, spoke with Samlet, and he told me to get a hold of you because there is, some things that need to be discussed, and I can help you find them.
Okay. Well, I guess, what needs to be discussed and where can we find it? Because it seems you know a lot more than we assume you should.
Oh well, word travels fast. We may have a big city here, but we ain't that big. It just people talk, you hear things, and you were throwing around some words, some names that tend to attract some attention.
Well, hopefully it's not the wrong attention. It's just we're trying to figure out a pretty extreme issue that I think concerns the safety of all of Dobberton at this point in time.
Okay. Well, I will tell you what. If you want to go on down back to Williams, he's got a special package for you. You'll know it's for you because it'll say, from Nahum. So that's one option. And you go do that. And whatever this thing is, this other thing you might be looking for that's related to a certain Dobber that might be the sister of the king. You just forget all about that, and we're good. Sound like a deal? Special package. Forget about your troubles. Have a nice night. I'll even buy you a drink tonight. I'll pay for your whole meal. Have you paid for this yet? He takes a piece of cheese and just bites it. Look, I'm just being neighborly.
Well, while we always appreciate someone being neighborly, it's also a bit suspicious when someone tells us to forget about something.
Well, I'm just trying to be neighborly. If somebody's about to, dig into the heart of their tree when they're building their house and they're going to kill it, you're going to tell them. You don't want that to happen. You want them to be able to live in harmony with the tree. So I'm just telling you, you need to stay away from the heart of your tree or you're going to end up dead.
See, that doesn't sound very harmonious to me. That sounds more like a threat.
I concur.
Oh no. I'm sorry. I guess it came out wrong. I just want you to be safe.
Well, I of course want to be safe as well, but unfortunately, from what we've experienced the last few days and weeks, it seems not everyone else is safe. So sometimes we have to step out and put ourselves in danger to save everyone else.
Sometimes we put others in danger. It happens. Like,
Well, that's heroic, isn't it? That's the kind of thing you would do if you were, wanting to make a difference. And I respect that. I do. I suggest you go get that package from William. And we won't see each other again, which is a shame. And he gets up and walks away.
okay.
Well, okay then.
So out of the corner of your eye, you see this. You don't hear any of that, Glug, but you do see that somebody grabbed your seat immediately and talked to your friends and then left.
I guess as he's leaving or walking away from us, I want to at least try to attempt to watch him and see if he meets up with anyone or if he just is actually alone.
All right, give me a. So you're trying to watch without being obvious, right?
Not necessarily discreetly. He's being kind of squirrely, and I'm gonna keep an eye on him and see if he's leaving the building or if he's meeting up with a different group.
All right. So as he walks away, he passes a couple other patrons. Music stopped playing.
Am I hearing
And he even turns
crickets
his
in the other
head around to see you, and he notices you're watching him, and he kind of smiles or smirks, whatever, not a sincere smile for sure.
Mhm.
And as you're watching him, like I said, he steps around another person, and you have no problem following, him as he passes this person. But then you hear shouting just beyond him, and a dauber and a groundhog. Why am I struggling so hard to think of animals right now?
You're tired. It's totally okay.
No, I mean, I feel pretty good, but I just can't think of animals. So a dauber and a groundhog start like arguing at the bar, and one of them even like breaks his mug against the bar. And the craziest thing happens. There's a chipmunk behind the bar. The chipmunk is, you've noticed, though you haven't really been paying attention, the barkeep for all intents and purposes, at least as far as you can tell. You've mostly dealt with Rosie, the waitress running around. The chipmunk turns into a bear, like a full-blown, full-size, 3 times bigger than a dauber bear, and just growls at these two. There's no fighting in my bar. And they just like shrink back, and you hear somebody say, I thought the bear was just a rumor. And you completely lose track of the guy you were trying to watch.
Okay.
You hear this too, Glug. Your conversation is broken. The entire crowd now, everybody's watching the bear that's like hovering over the bar. His back is pressed up, or her back is actually pressed up against the ceiling. And everybody's just like kind of quaking in their boots. All the conversation has gotten pretty quiet. Even Theobald has stopped playing.
Roto,
The otter.
there's a bear. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What about it?
The otter kind of chuckles and says, she's pretty lonely, I hear. Not a great temper.
I could tell why she's lonely.
She does make the best ale in Dobberton, though. All right. Well, it sounds like if we're going to work together, what I can provide to you is a way into the palace. I don't know much else. If I were you, I'd be trying to find out if that's a real heritage stone. The only way to do that is to get into the vault.
Correct.
But, you do what you want. If you want to go pester the Weasley vizier, I suppose that's up to you.
Glug might rough him up too, but we'll find out. If you'd like. I know
Right.
I might.
So,
And Glug, with the water going on with the otter in his land, can Glug share his knowledge of lesser restoration, or not lesser restoration, but purify food and drink with the otter as a sign of good faith?
share his
Something-
knowledge? I don't know what you mean.
I don't know. I mean, I know the spell. Is there a way I could teach that spell? I don't know if there's any way.
Oh.
Or just, I don't know.
I mean, no. I mean, you can make a scroll. Scrolls take. We'd have to look it up, but it takes a considerable amount of time to make
Okay.
a scroll that's magical.
Okay.
And I think you have to do one that's like so many levels lower than your level.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just curious. I didn't know if that was possible. Because Glug is, Glug does care about the fact.
But I mean, you
that-
can talk about it. You can say,
When
at
Glug
least we've been able to discover that, these magical at least cure or whatever.
Glug will. When I am done, Glug will come back, and I would be glad to help to make your water better. If you would allow, I do know magic. Glug would be very glad to help, but I want to get down to this first. But I as a sign of good faith,
Yeah, well,
I'd like for you to hold
The-
this, and I'll let you hold on to this to be safe. And so I just give him more coins. 'Cause
hey, wait, what's the hold on to this to be safe?
Well, Glug was tempted at first to give out the staff of Majira,
Oh, okay.
but he realizes that would probably be a dumb idea.
Right.
Yeah, so he just gives more coin because he's like,
Okay.
I don't know what else to give. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep. So,
Alrighty. So at midnight,
Mhm.
I am gonna have to go on a walk. I'm gonna walk to this spot, and he describes a spot over by the palace, you know, because I gotta stretch my legs. Maybe I'll run into somebody there, like you and your friends.
Glug could always use a run. Glug did have, some food, and
Yeah. So you go finish your
I
meal
run.
with your friends.
thank
Enjoy Theobald.
Thank
It'll be
you.
a few hours before the time is right.
you. And if you want to spend that coin on more tea and whatever, go ahead. Glug will be back to help you and your family and your friends when all this is over.
Okay.
so,
All right.
and I,
He pulls his hood back over and he looks into his drink, and it's like you were never there.
so Glug walks back over to Roto and Vega and just with a big old stupid grin goes,
Glug made a new friend, and we're gonna go running at midnight.
You running at midnight.
All of us. Glug is gonna have all of us go running
I don't run.
into the palace at midnight.
Oh.
We're gonna
Can
go
we
for a nice
roll?
run around the palace. Around Glug's gonna have us run.
Look, you're,
Oh, okay.
We're gonna roll.
I think you've been drinking a bit too much.
Glug hasn't
should-
been drinking. I had coffee earlier. I haven't had anything since.
Well, some of the things you're saying don't seem to make a lot of sense. You seem to be rambling at the moment, so why don't you eat a bit and be quiet for a moment?
Glug's not hungry. Glug found out that his friend died. I didn't tell you yet, but Glug went, and his tutor was murdered, and I know who did it. And that person is also the vizier of the king and the queen. And I think he's keeping it silent about the queen. And I'm going to find out. And if I find out that he was the one and he is keeping the queen sick, I am going to kill him. But we also got to get in the palace anyway and get into the vault. So, Glug wants to. Glug made friends with. I've got a new friend, and we're gonna go help him later. But
So
Glug,
we can trust this friend.
yeah, Glug likes him. So automatically, Glug's friends.
While Glug is saying all this, I want to look around and make sure if it looks like anyone, like around the tables around us, are somewhat listening and hearing
All right.
these words that I don't feel, because I don't feel comfortable with him saying all these things in the middle of this
Yeah.
crowded
Roll
room.
perception.
Everybody's too drunk to pay attention to us.
Glug's not drunk. Glug is
Sure.
pretty laid back.
It doesn't feel to you like there's anyone listening any more to you than they are to the person at the table they're with.
Now, we have to hurry. But you eat. You all eat. Glug's not hungry. Glug is hungry for vengeance. Glug will get it. Glug.
What about you, Vega? What are your thoughts, or what are you kind of doing while this conversation's going on?
I'm still concerned that we can trust this person and that it's gonna go smoothly.
Glug,
Things don't go smoothly for us.
All right.
So, yeah, so I'm just kind of seeing if it, seems a little bit too good to be true, but, I could be wrong. So,
All right. Sure. Sounds good. So, you guys, it's like 9:30, and the other guy said midnight. So, the guy whose name you didn't get, I don't think, but
he's Glug's friend now. Glug's other friend.
friends don't need names.
Glug's, yeah. Glug has Thunder. Glug has Vega. Glug has Rig. Glug has Oxy. Glug has...
I forgot who Thunder was for a second.
Glug has other raccoon friend. And
Does
Glug
the other
has...
raccoon friend have a name?
Glug forgets.
Bevan.
Bevan.
Oh,
Glug,
Bevan.
Oh,
Glug-
what? You don't know that. If you didn't remember, I can't tell
Yeah,
you.
Glug doesn't remember it. So Glug has other raccoon friend. And Glug has... And Glug has other friend. And then there's you, Roto. So... You're okay. But...
All right. A chipmunk hops up on the table right in the middle of your conversation. Look, guys, need another round of drinks? Rosie's not available right now.
Glug really thought it was cool when you turned into a bear.
Well, got to do that sometimes because people get a little out of hand, and it's a peaceful establishment. Got to keep everybody happy, everybody safe, and keep the drinks flowing. Of course, don't need any fights. Cause people leave.
Glug could go for coffee, please, if you have coffee.
Yeah. You don't want anything better?
No, Glug would like coffee because
Okay. All right. Coffee. Everybody else want coffee? Are we having coffee at this table? Is this one of those tables?
You spunky.
Hey, look, my bar is full. I got every table in here is full of people, and if you're just gonna drink coffee, that's fine.
Are
But
we paying for it? Right? So
yeah,
does it
you're paying
matter?
for it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what we drink.
Glug's friend Roto is paying for the coffee. Yes. Glug might have given most of his coins to...
Yeah, he gave all his coins away based on what he
Not
had
all.
already.
Glug gave most, not all.
I have like 2 coins left in my pocket, so yeah. Or in my
Because I
bag.
saw what you started with and what you were saying. You basically used it.
Yeah.
Glug
right.
got information.
Fine.
Oh, thank you.
We're gonna have the main course is gonna come out. They're gonna bring it out on 2 big trays. If you want part of that, you got to pay now. And then it's free. You serve yourself, and all you can eat after that. But you pay now, and I'll be watching, and I'm a bear when I want to be. So keep that in mind. Don't try to eat any food you didn't pay for.
You're a bear.
Well,
Now,
okay, so you say it's the main course is about to come out, but we have to pay for it. What is the main course?
Oh,
You gotta work on your marketing here. If you want us to buy it.
don't be mean
I
to
didn't
the
know you
bear.
guys
I
had
like
never
the
been here
bear.
before. I mean, I have it every
Well,
Thursday
okay,
night.
I haven't been here. He, of
Okay.
course, probably has, but he didn't tell us because he's a bit worked up tonight.
Glug,
There will be a pot of vegetable stew with varieties of breads. All we've got sweet bread, we've got rye bread, we got whole grain bread. There's cheeses. If you there's a little stove. You can melt cheese on your bread, dip it in the stew, whatever you want. And then the second tray has got a whole, and this is just for certain select folk, but you look like the type. And she looks at Glug. Boar. It's roasted. It's glazed. It's everything. You just go up there with a knife. You hack off the piece you want. Go to town. I'll ask. Don't fight over anything. Don't make anybody uncomfortable because they don't like meat or whatever. But I know some of us do, right?
Glug has a little appetite now. Yes, Roto will pay for Glug's boar. Thank you, Roto.
Whoa. No. You can pay for your own meat.
I will pay for your meat and my meat. Look, I got you.
Glug likes you more anyway, Trash Panda.
Yes.
All right. Of course you do.
You still owe me for the goat back at the South Gate.
No, we
Glug,
could.
no, Glug doesn't know for the goat. Glug will go back and help them in the future. Glug.
All right. So, all right. So that's 3. We got 3 all around. You're gonna do the full meal. Sounds good.
Thank you,
That'll
Bear
be
Lady.
6 primes, which is pretty steep for a meal, but sounds like she's described something pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, that boar. Ooh. Glug's mouth, like when he heard boar, because he's been eating wolf meat and rat meat for most of the time. He's had some fish, but when he hears boar, his mouth just drops, and he hasn't had an appetite most of the day because of everything. But just like he starts to salivate. Literally, the drool is coming out of his mouth in excitement when he hears about this. So
nice.
Yeah.
So they take your money, or she takes your money, and then runs off back to the bar. You see Rosie come out from one of the side rooms, and you're not really paying attention, or at least it wasn't your intention to. You just happen to look over there, and you see the otter come with her, and another guy walking with the otter, who then sits at the table where the otter was sitting with him. Theobald breaks into another round of poetry / music. This time he's talking about the perils of the rats and the war with Syak and the goblins, and how there was one heroic Dobber that helped to keep the goblins from being destroyed in their little town of the... What is it? Oh man, I don't have all that information in front of me right now. I apologize. The Rockheart. There we go. The Rockheart goblins, and they survive the attack of the Ratkin, who were wanting to take over their mines and pillage all their goods and money and stuff like that. Well, that's an interesting story to our goblin friend Chris, and the crowd is into it. Everybody is applauding. About the time he ends his song, I was almost as if it's timed on purpose. A pair of kind of strong Dobermen come carrying this big tray with the giant bowl of soup, and it's got like 6 ladles all hanging out of it, and then a mound of different types of bread, and this little stove with cheeses all laid around it, and little plates, little wooden plates and forks and everything like that. And then right behind them, there's a big beaver and a porcupine, both this thick, burly, strong man carrying the spit with the boar on it. I mean, it's literally like 2 handles with the A-frame kind of thing, and a bar going across the middle, and they're like holding on to these handles of the A-frame. They set it down in a clear spot right in front of the bar, and then a big raccoon comes out bringing another brazier that's on fire, and rolls it underneath the spit, and they start turning it, and then another Dobber then comes in and brings basically like a TV tray that's got plates and forks and stuff on it, and a big knife, and they get this whole thing set up, and the crowd just goes nuts. Like they're just been waiting all night for this. They're all warmed up from the performance of Theobald, and after they get it all set up, the big porcupine and the big beaver leave there, and they go stand by the door of the entrance and close it. People get up and go start carving food. Some of them are getting...
Glug's in line. Glug's in line already.
Yeah.
He's
All right.
He jumped up. Yeah.
The line happens. The food, regardless of what you have, is fantastic. On a level that is something you've very seldomly experienced. And everybody's, this is so good, talking and moaning and drooling and whatnot. Every now and then, you'll see maybe there's a younger Dobber that's not as cultured, poking fun at a woodkin who's eaten some of the meat, and they get put in their place real quick. Like, we don't do that here, you know. And yeah, and that's how the night goes.
The ones that are standing by the doors, does it seem like they're trying to keep people from leaving, or just other people from coming in, or both?
Roll insight. I mean, I'd say both, but if you watch long enough, maybe you'll pick up something. It looks like it's more people from coming in.
Okay. Kind of like
Because
max capacity, people already paid type thing. Okay.
Yeah, and then you actually see somebody leave, and they let him go.
Okay.
Glug's
Quick
completely
question,
distracted.
a quick
He's
out of game question, because I can't remember from last time. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember when we talked to Will/William the Heron at the store
Yeah.
before. I feel like we talked about he was going to meet us at the bar to talk to more about our father. I can't remember if that was something that was mentioned or not. I feel like it is in the back of my mind, but
Okay.
if it wasn't, that's
We're
fine.
going to go with no, because I didn't
Okay.
remember that. I remember him saying to look for somebody at the bar, but I don't remember him saying he would be there.
Okay, so it was look for someone at the bar. That may have been what it was. I couldn't remember
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
So I guess being at his store, did we notice like how late he stayed open, considering we had this little discussion about there would be something for us there?
yeah. Most of the stores that are open to the public, like his, kind of close at dusk. Depends on the season, and this is harvest season, so he might stay open a little bit later, but he'd be closed by now. It's probably 10:30, 11 by now.
Yep. So it wouldn't be worth trying to go there till the morning, regardless.
Yep.
Fair enough.
All right.
Okay.
Well, did you guys do anything else? Do you ask around for this person that William suggested you try to find, or
Yeah,
does
like
Glug start
I
a
can't
food
remember the
fight?
information about who it is we're looking for, but whatever it is, I
Glug
guess we
is-
were told.
Glug is not going to waste any of this food. Glug hasn't eaten all day, and Glug is just right now.
Don't eat too much because we're running at midnight.
Glug. Yes, running. Yes, Glug's running.
The only thing that I do try to do is I try to look over to where the otter is talking to whoever else.
Yeah.
And is there any chance that I might have some insight on who that person is?
Okay, you can
insight check?
roll.
Or history, or I don't know.
What would that be? Yeah, I mean, it would be just history. It'd be if you remember
Okay.
any details. Roto, however, so you're going to ask around. This person doesn't look familiar.
Okay.
What are you doing? Describe to me, Roto, what you're doing to
Well,
try to get information or whatever.
okay. Well, out of game, I'm trying to remember what we were told, like who to look for. So that's what I'm trying to
Okay.
make sure.
Yeah. So William said that when he was growing up, his friends were Thad, Gwyn, and Owen. Thad is your dad.
Mhm.
Owen is your uncle. Gwyn, you didn't know, but this would have been friends before you were born, you guess. He said that he doesn't know where Owen is, but you guys do, obviously. And that Gwyn is still in town. He might actually be over at the Lonely Bear tonight.
Okay. Well, we weren't necessarily told like if he was a Dobber or anything like that. Just the name.
Yeah, no, he just said Gwyn, it's my buddy Gwyn. Go ask for him. He might know. I don't remember that part. He might know something.
Okay. So I'm gonna go up to the bar or try to find the little chipmunk that was serving us that seemed to be in charge here and most likely knows the most people.
Yeah.
And kind of at least when she seems to have a moment of to ask her without like being rude, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm kind of new around here, but it seems my dad grew up here at some point, and had some
Oh,
friends
yeah?
that might still be in the area. I was
Yeah,
told
who's
that
that?
his friend Gwen might still be around, but unfortunately, I don't know much more than a name.
Yeah. Well, that guy over there, that's Gwen. He goes by Gwen. I mean, he looks like he's about the age, he's older enough to be your dad. So maybe go talk to him. And he's pointing at a Dobber who's definitely older, but he's got a full beard and he's wearing kind of a cloak or coat with patches and stuff on it that are a little bit flamboyant, but not nearly what Theobald has. And then she adds on, if Theobald wasn't here, he'd be, running the show tonight. But you get what you pay for.
Is he eating tonight?
Oh yeah, Glenn, he can eat. That's fine.
Okay. Before I go over there, I'm gonna look. Does it look like he still has a full plate, or does he look like he needs more food?
I mean, from across the room, he's got a plate. It doesn't look like there's much on it. Piece of bread, some crumbs, maybe a leaf or two.
Okay, I'm going to tray or plate of the cheese and breads and stuff.
Okay.
So not to necessarily just walk over empty-handed, just kind of.
Okay. All right. So you do that. At this point, the amount is starting to dwindle down, so you don't have like your choice of everything. There's like some Colby cheese and other like of the bland, mild cheeses are left, and then the bread, it's just like white bread is all that's left. The bowl is the big stew pot's pretty much scraped clean.
So I'll fill out the plate and then head over towards Gwen and
Okay.
kind of approach semi-cautiously, not really knowing him, and be like, Gwen, right?
As you come over, he looks
Hold the
up
look
and
for you.
smiles real big. Oh, it's always good to see a fan. Yes, come on over. Have a seat.
So I sit down. I was like, you may have already eaten. I grabbed a little bit extra in case you still wanted more.
Oh yeah, that's great. I was just going to get some myself. I could use some more to drink too. And he kind of starts looking around like he's kind of pretending to look for a waitress.
What's your drink of choice?
Well, the Lonely Bear's honey ale is the best in Dobberton, they say, and I've proven that many times over.
That might be true. I'm gonna pull out one of the samples that
One of the two
Ray
that you
gave
didn't
me.
know which was which.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab one of the samples. Pull out. I didn't
right.
make this. My half sister did. But what I'm really would like to talk to you more about is I think you knew our father. And I'm gonna hand him the sample.
Alrighty.
Be like, feel free to drink. I think it's based off the recipe of our father, passed down to my sister. But
Well, I did know a chap that was rather good in the brewery. Why don't you give me a... Oh, I'm doing that in character. Why don't you give me a roll? Give me a D2 roll.
you said a D2.
D2. Yeah, I know which is which.
Okay.
All right. Oh, well, let's give this a little bit of a try. He unscrews the cap and sniffs it. Well, are you sure this is what you meant to give me?
Well, I don't know. I pulled the other one. I was like, she gave me two of them. I don't know how they're made. Just
I mean, I do have a pretty sensitive nose. I can smell all sorts of things. It's really kind of fascinating. Let me smell that other one.
Okay, hand it to him.
Oh yeah, this is the stuff, and he just downs it. Oh wow, man, that's that crazy banana stuff. Yeah, that Thaddeus, man. So you were Thaddeus's kid. I should have known. You got the stripe in your hair. Oh man, come here. But and he like leans over the table and like gives you a big hug. Man, how I didn't even know he had kids. How's it going? What have you been up to?
Well, haven't seen him for years, but I was just occasionally we run into people that say they knew him, and anything I can learn about him is great. But I guess we're trying to make him proud and doing what we can to protect the forest. And I guess you've heard a few things that have been going on. But
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always trouble. Oh, it's no different than any other day, right? Yeah, you get a little junk on your shoe, you scrape it off, you keep walking, right? That's what your dad used to say. That's what I would totally say that. Last time we got pinched, you know what? Maybe that's that was probably before you were born. Nothing we need to talk about there. But so yeah, I try to make him proud, huh? That's good.
if possible.
That's something you should do. Totally should do that. I don't have kids myself. Never found the right lady, to be honest. But I suppose that's why he decided to. Never mind. So.
Well, you say it's a never mind. To me, it's I didn't get to know him very well. He kind of, in a way, disappeared at a young age. Didn't know if he was dead and then found out he was actually alive in some other way when I met my half sister. So I don't know much about him. So
Well,
bad or good, I guess it's just good to know.
Before I did this kind of work, entertaining people, telling stories, playing music, that sort of thing. Me and your dad and a couple of the other guys around, we kind of formed a little club to make money. That wasn't exactly lawful. But he quit all that for you. That's the never mind. Before you, he didn't have a reason to do the right thing. But, when he met your mother, we didn't see him as much. He said he couldn't run with the crew anymore. And we had me. I could provide the distraction. William had the getaway all set up, but nobody could pick a lock like your dad. And so we had to quit. We all went straight because of you.
Because of me, eh? Well, I guess on one hand, I'm sorry. I guess I split y'all up, but helping people be on the straight and narrow is kind of nice to hear.
Yeah, well, I mean, indirectly.
Indirect,
But,
yeah, true.
I'd rather be doing this. I mean, I wish I was Theobald. People
Yeah.
put a sign for Theobald up on the door and the place is full. You put my name up there and, at least I can pay the bills.
True. Oh, have you got to talk to Odin lately? I saw him a few days past.
William?
No, well, did I get
Wait.
the name wrong? Who we
The
met?
Heron?
No, not
Or-
the Heron. The Dobber
Owen,
Owen.
your uncle?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought you said Odin. I'm like,
sorry.
the
We're
god of
talking about
thunder?
Thunder.
Yeah. No, man, he left a long time ago. He didn't want to quit though. You see, he didn't want to quit, and he got in some trouble. And as far as I know, he's been running from the Capitol Guard ever since. I mean, I assume he's not even in, he's green anymore, but I mean, I hope he's okay. You seen him or something?
Yeah, not too long ago, met him. He was, he's outside of, I guess, the Always Green Force. He's now hanging out with, up in the trees for some reason. I guess he's not as scared to get up in the trees as I am.
Yeah, well, when you're running around with a guy like William, you got to get used to heights. But that's crazy. So he's like, what do you mean, like up in the trees, like with the Sylvans or something?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. It's like,
crud. That's crazy.
that much in the trees. It threw me for a loop too, seeing them.
All right. Well, that's well, anyway, cool, man. Well, I come back tomorrow. I'll be playing tomorrow. I'll throw in the bandit song that we wrote just for you. You'll probably recognize some of the parts of it.
I'll be sure to listen.
But we are it's probably about to run out of time here. I think we're getting ready to close up here. I need to go help in the back. And he wanders off.
Okay. Then I'll head back and find the rest of the table and see what Glug and everyone else is doing.
Glug is pleasantly relaxed from eating way too much boar, but not too much to make himself sick, just enough to know that he had eaten his fill and gotten his money's worth, which it wasn't his money's worth anyway, but Vega's money's worth. So.
No, yeah.
My money's worth.
It's always someone else's money.
Glug is very thankful. Thank you. Thank you, Vega.
Can you run?
Oh, Glug can run. Yeah, Glug can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So midnight's about to roll around.
Okay.
What are you guys? Are you? Just tell me what you're doing.
Glug is going to go ahead and get ready to go, and he's ready.
Roto, Vega, let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Did I not already say this? Come on, Roto. You didn't eat as much as I did.
Well, I don't go for midnight runs. This is my bedtime.
Not tonight, Glug. Glug and all of us are going to go for a light jog. Light jog, yes.
Midnight stroll.
Into the palace. To talk to some people. Maybe kill them. And then to return the dagger to the vault. Glug has some friends. Glug.
Some friends.
Yes, Glug. Glug made new friend, and Glug would like to introduce you to him. To him. Come on, let's go.
All right.
Reluctantly, I will go along, but it's more in the sense of I want to make sure he doesn't do something even worse than what he's already done in my
Glug
presence.
never does anything wrong. What are you talking about?
Because every time he leaves my sight, it gets worse.
So wrong. So wrong. Glug would do nothing wrong. Glug does nothing wrong.
A dead goat, a stolen
Never.
goat.
Glug is friends
Alright.
with Thunder. Thunder is friend.
So, and yeah. So
Okay.
we're going to the palace.
Do you? So you guys follow along. You'd follow him on his directions to that Glug was given.
We're in this together, so.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, there's kind of a set of roads that wrap around the palace complex. There's like one outside the fence and one on the inside of the fence, and then there's little connecting roads that just make the whole thing look a little bit like, a spider web. Mm-hmm. And you're following one of those roads around the side. this particular road runs right along the edge of one of the little tributaries of water that's part of the Blue River, that's part of the kind of pond, or the slower part of the river that's under the palace. And as you're walking, almost surprisingly so, though I'm not going to make you roll perception or anything like that, you're suddenly walking with two other people. One of them is the otter, and he just falls in step with you guys and nods, and you kind of get to that spot where he told you to meet him, and he just keeps walking, and he kind of looks over his shoulder like let's keep going. The other guy does a double take when he gets with you, pulls back his cloak, and you see that it's Gwen. It's like, he doesn't say anything though. He just smiles really big, like you're in the family business.
Funny thing is, I was debated like attempting to invite him for a distraction tonight.
So you walk for a little ways, and there's a spot where you get to the next little guard station where there's another gate. This is on the east side of the palace. On the other side of that guard station, there's a number of buildings that are some sort of utilitarian buildings. You know, like one of them is like the little thing to hide the dumpster kind of stuff. You know, like there's a smokehouse. There's a couple things like that where people don't hang out in them. You know, they're just tools and tool sheds or whatever, that kind of thing. And they're built into the fence and right on the edge of the water. And you just walk along the road there, and he just steps in between two of them. The way the lights are shining, because there's some lanterns along this walkway that are glowing a faint blue light. There's no smoke or anything like that from them. They're clearly some sort of a artificial light source. We don't call it magic inside the city proper, though. But he steps in between them, and the way the lights are catching and everything, he's just gone. It's like he just disappeared. And Gwen actually kind of steps back and lets the three of you go on ahead to catch up with him, or at least that's kind of the impression you get when he stops walking.
And
What do you do?
goes forward, to follow.
Okay. What about Roto and Vega?
I'm gonna kind of urge Vega to go forwards, and so I'll kind of be between her and.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So when you step in between those two buildings where the otter went, there's a large open door into one of the buildings, and it's just like sitting open, and it's like this building isn't even got four walls. It's basically just a lean-to, and it's just full of like gardening supplies, like clippers and stuff, which you would need a lot for this palace complex. I mean, everything is immaculate. So you actually have a little bit of an open space that isn't visible to the people on the road going around the palace. And you notice Gwen just turns his back to you and stands kind of on the edge of the road and makes himself look like he's tying his shoes or whatever. You know, he's on watch. The otter turns to the three of you. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, guess you decided to show up. So, this isn't kind of thing that, you know, your typical young person's going to try. So I warn you now. You need a little bit of experience, a little bit of savvy, and a little bit of guts if you're going to try this. Otherwise, it's not worth the risk.
Glug's in. Let's go.
All right. Well,
They're good too.
so they're in too. They just didn't say it.
I'm here to watch his back. He tends to need a little help.
He does
All
way
right.
too much with my back. Be careful, Adder
Caress
friend.
it.
Okay.
I've got that. Well, I won't call it magic. I got that special touch.
Special touch.
Yeah. All right. So, well, here's the deal. I'm going to tell you how to get into the palace. And you are going to bring me the king's scepter. That's my price.
What do you want with this scepter?
It's worth a freaking fortune.
Glug will first take care of his things.
You do whatever you got to do. This is my price. You bring me the scepter, I'll tell you how to get in. If you don't bring me the scepter, we'll probably have to kill you.
Not if I kill you first, but Glug will.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you obviously don't have the kind of money to just pay me outright for the information, but
Glug
bring
gave
me
you a
that scepter.
bunch.
You gave me like 20 coins.
That's a bunch to.
This
collect.
is like thousands of gold worth of information I'm about to lay on you. If the rats knew this, they'd wipe out our kingdom. This is important. This is secret. This is special, and it's worth the scepter, or it's worth your lives. So what do you say?
What if Glug gave you something even more priceless?
I'm listening.
Glug has a special staff that has magical powers, and I'll give it to you when I'm done with the quest. It was owned by someone by the name of Majura.
That doesn't mean anything to me. I'd rather have the scepter. I mean, wouldn't you? Like, everyone would know where it came from.
Well, obviously, they're not going to just let us walk out of there with the scepter.
Well, you're not going to walk in there either. So, and he does this.
All right.
Look, guys,
If I get through this and we save the kingdom and we stop this all, then Glug will give you the scepter.
there's only one way out. Well, two, if you count getting caught and then carted out, in a coffin. But one
Jeez.
is coming back out the way you're going to go in. So bring me the scepter when you come out. That's the deal. That's the price. You can go on saving the kingdom if you want. That was a nice chat while we were in the bar, but I just, look. It's like it's practically a sure thing. Here. And he rummages around in a pouch that he's got around his waist, and he hands a folded piece of leather to Vega. You look like you're good with your hands. Take this.
Okay. If you say so.
Yeah. It's a set of lock picks, and they're
Okay.
special.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So those will help you. The vault has been keyed to only open with a certain key. And it's magically connected to it. We were able to put that magic on these lockpicks. So if you can pick that lock, the alarm won't go off because it doesn't match, right? Like it matches. So, good luck with that. What about you, round person?
What do you mean,
What's your role in your crew here?
my role?
For a second, I was like, who is he talking to?
The only rotund one here, short and round.
I mean, you can swim, right?
I bob.
You're gonna have to go down.
Glug will pull you under. I might
We
not
went
let
for a
you
swim
back
a
up,
few
but I'll pull you
days
under.
back.
Okay, well. Anyway, so you guys agree?
My skill set is tunneling, but if that means through some water, I'll deal with it.
Glug agrees to your terms,
I could be in handy too.
but
I could come in handy.
I need to
For what?
know where in the palace Source's room is.
Right, that's part of what I'm giving you.
I would hope so, because if not, then this would be
All right. So
crazy.
we have an agreement. You hear that, Gwen? He giggles. All right. So here's the plan. Under the water, swim for about 150 feet. You're going to come to a few pipes. Those pipes are part of a heating system that the palace is designed to actually warm the whole palace, keeps it warm in the winter, cool in the summer. The invention is actually pretty phenomenal, but that's beside the point. You're gonna have to swim against the current. Actually, these will help. And he goes over and like pulls out some flippers that were like buried underneath some of the gardening equipment and stuff like that. They're like shoes, but you wear them on your feet. They help you swim, help you go against the current. And then he just keeps talking. He talks about going through the pipes and where you find the right grate, which grate you want to go through. That ends up, not going into the furnace that heats the water, but instead going into, the filter room and all that stuff. So you blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Glug doesn't want to go in the furnace, no.
And he says you're going to end up in the basement, which is going to be just one floor, or it's going to be the same floor that has the entrance to the vault and the royal prison. And then he tells you, you go up the stairs and there's different rooms, and you'll have to go up 3 flights before you get to the rooms that are kind of the non-servant quarters, the other people that are in the castle that aren't the king and queen. And that's where Saurus's room is. All right. So, last thing you're going to need, and Gwen will help you with that, is some help breathing. And Gwen comes over if you're willing, and he's getting ready to cast a spell. What do you guys do?
Glug, the one thing that Glug is going to ask is,
Where's the scepter? Where can I find that? If you want the
Oh, well, that's in the king's chambers. That's on the 4th floor, so 1 floor higher. Obviously, I said that part.
Glug doesn't remember that. You were talking about Soros, and you were talking about the vault, and you were talking about the currents and the furnace and the water and the filters and the pipes.
No, he didn't, but he should have, because that's what he wanted.
So, Glug wants to make
All right.
sure he finds it for you. And if we get
All right.
caught, you're not getting it, of course, because if we get caught, then, well,
Right. Well, you'll have to sneak in. The king will be long
won't get
asleep by now.
We won't get
You
caught.
won't have. Nah,
So
you'll be
as Gwen's
fine.
preparing to cast the spell, I'm going to ask him. So how far have you been in to the palace?
Oh, well, I got to perform for the king once. It's been a couple years.
Well, no. I'm talking about. Have you been this way?
No. We don't have the right crew. That's why we got you guys, right?
yeah, how did you know that
And when he
this
does
girl-
that, he gives you bardic inspiration.
How did you know how to get into the vault, though? Did you take this dagger out in the beginning?
No. That dagger has nothing to do with the vault. It's the gem in it. Whoever put that gem in there got the dagger out, I presume. I mean, no, sorry. Whoever made that dagger got the gem out.
Okay.
They don't keep daggers in the... Well, I mean, who knows what they keep in the vault? But, you know, the way they tell the stories about the heritage stones, it's just stones.
Okay.
All right. So Glug is ready.
All right, so
Yeah. I don't think I have any other questions.
Gwyn gives all of you Bardic Inspiration, and then he casts water breathing on all of you. It lasts for 24 hours. And that is... So that's cast so you guys can breathe underwater. And what do you do?
So before we turn around to go forward, I'm going to speak to Gwen one more time. Hey, I don't know how long this is going to take us. We were told that there might be a package for us that William might have. If you get a chance, could you possibly go talk to him?
Huh? Who told you that?
Well, we were back at the bar, and this kind of quirky fellow came up. He said there's a package that we should get, and then we'd never see him again, but we should theoretically forget about what we're doing here. But since you seem to know William better than we do, you might know what might be going on, or if we can trust him or not.
Okay, I guess I'll go check it out, but I don't... You know, all right, well, kind of weird. You didn't know the guy?
No, it seemed weird. He was kind of like,
All right.
kind of heard about us through the grapevine type thing, because word apparently travels fast. But
Yep. If I, you know, didn't spend all my time over there at the Lonely Bear, you know, information is a hot commodity in a town like this. So, all right, well, good luck, and bring back that scepter. Just because you're, you know, kin of
Peeps.
one of my old friends doesn't mean you can get away with not keeping your deal.
Hold on. You knew.
And he
you know-
turns around and goes back to playing watchguard.
Did he know Master Darren?
So
What?
like old friends. So I'm just curious. All right. So yeah, I'm ready to dive in because
All right.
Glug's on a mission. He
Glug
wants to
jumps
find-
in the water.
Yep.
Sploosh. Roto. Vega.
Jumping in.
I don't jump in. I go to the edge and try to quietly slide in.
I jump in.
As you go to slide in, you notice that this edge of the water has been sort of man-formed, like it's not just natural edge. And a lot of the area has been, and it's kind of some sort of a smooth, kind of concrete-like material. And you go to gently slide in, but it's a little slicker than you expect, and you kind of topple in. And that's where we're going to end it for tonight. Everybody's wet, and you can breathe underwater, and you're about to break into the palace.
I love it.
About to.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Folks, that was once again
This
Dobbers
is-
Seas of Decay. Oh my gosh. We're going to go around the room, talk about our favorite moments for tonight's episode. And I can't wait because I'm eager to see what happens next week with everything that we're about to get ourselves into. We're gonna see
Shenanigans.
We're gonna see if Vega can actually pick a lock, even with a magical lock pick. So this could be interesting.
Yeah.
The rogue with very unrogue-like skills. So it should be good. Let's go ahead and
You
start
can do
again.
it.
I can do it.
You can do it.
I believe.
We're gonna start again with Justin. Justin, if you can put up the socials as well, so that way people can follow you all. Yeah. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let it roll.
Well, yeah, I'm Justin. Play game spread joy. Playing as Roto here. Found it fun tonight. The appearance of the lonely bear, and I guess in full form. It was fun to see.
Yeah, I wondered how much interaction you'd have with the chipmunk, like because you guys, I said you started out at the table, so I maybe preemptively truncated your interaction with the barkeep, but you know still could have. But anyway, what you did do is fine. I'm not questioning any of that, but yeah, you got a problem with a chipmunk running a bar? Anyway,
He's kind of rude.
go on. Sorry.
No.
It was good. That was a lot of fun.
Is it?
That was pretty awesome. I don't know if my favorite part, but I really did enjoy just Glug doing his little detective work.
Yeah.
He was just like going off, and it was just I was just listening, just hearing him out, work through everything. No, I did enjoy that.
We're good. Introduce yourself and stuff.
Oh,
too.
I'm Chelsea, and I play Vega the rogue.
Where can people find you?
Sorry. Chucka's Corner. The link's on
Yay.
the chat. Yay!
All right, Glug.
For me tonight, of course, I'm Chris from Charity Board Gamer. For me tonight, it was that quiet, pensive thinking moment where finding out that somebody who was a mentor and a tutor and basically another father figure was murdered. I believe that he was murdered. I don't think that it's a coincidence that these wolves were there, especially in the forest. And I think that there's something up. Like, Glug really wants to get down to the bottom of it. And if it's something with, I mean, nobody believes that the queen is sick. Some people have heard rumors. And so, and now there's a talk of a seed that'll be planted. And so Glug is very much concerned that this vizier is does not have the king and queen in the best interest. So he's going to find out, and if he finds out that the vizier has anything to do with Master Darren's death, then somebody else is going to be on the chopping block. So that's kind of how he feels right now. It doesn't matter who he has to fight to get to him. That's kind of he's on that rampage, but he's trying to be smarter with his steps than he has been in the past, which has been I think because he was put in check a while back, and then he's just found out that somebody close to him has died, so he's taking it very serious. But that was a lot of fun. What about you, Daryl?
Yeah, tonight was great. I really enjoyed it. I put a little extra time into making sure I knew enough about what else was available to you guys, so there wasn't any as much as me going and I guess as a GM that's brings me joy. I mean, there were definitely parts that were my favorite. I enjoyed getting to read the poem that I wrote for Theobald. I hope you guys are paying attention because there were answers to some of your questions in it. But I don't know if you were. So there's that. And of course, the lonely bear, chipmunk who turned into the bear, and the otter thief. I mean, really, there's a lot of good characters tonight. So we're going to get to see more of them as the sessions go on. Yeah. So with that, I am Daryl Jones. You can find me at splatteredink.com or splatteredink on all the socials. The game you just witnessed, if you stuck around, and I appreciate you very much, is for Seeds of Decay, and Seeds of Decay is on Kickstarter. So you can go to seedsofdecay.com right now and back it. We are narrowing in on 70,000. I think we just hit, we're almost at 68 right now, but we should hit 70 tomorrow, I bet, which would be super cool. So rock and roll, because we got another stretch goal. It's going to be 15 more magic items designed by the Dungeon Scribe. If you know who he is, he's designed items for Critical Role. So it's going to be super cool to get him in on the Seeds of Decay game and fun. Yay.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
that was definitely a joy. So, folks, thank you for being in here with us. We look forward to seeing you, of course, next week as we continue this journey. I started putting the word continue and journey into one word.
Journey.
As we continue.
It's not late.
That word should be real. Like, that is such a good word.
As we
I'm going to conjourney with you.
We're going to conjourney. No. But as we continue our journey throughout Dobbers Seeds of Decay, we hope you have an amazing night. We're going to also go ahead and raid into somebody as well. So if you're willing to just stay with us, we'll go ahead and raid into somebody. And then we're going to, of course, end our stream and talk to each other before we, of course, get to bed. So, folks, have a great evening. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching our video.
If you like what you saw here, go ahead and hit that little like, subscribe, the little bell thingamabobber, you know the thing, and watch some of our videos. Maybe one that's maybe up here, or maybe down there, or over there, or down there. I don't know where they are, but thank you all. Remember, when we can gather at the table, we can do the same for a good cause. Bye.
Bye.